A large number of people dream of owning property by the ocean, of spending winters in warmth, spending time with their family in a beautiful place, and having their own apartment in a tropical paradise. But at the same time, they are convinced that this is only for the wealthy and that they can't afford it. They believe that you need a large amount of savings for this, which must be accumulated over many years, and then you also have to constantly pay for the upkeep of this property. And that's exactly why most people don't even seriously consider this option. Most often, the answer to oneself is yes, it would be nice, but unfortunately, it's not for me. But that's a mistake. Today, I will show you a completely different approach, an approach that I personally use myself and that I recommend to my clients. Moreover, hundreds of people have already done this and today own property in the Dominican Republic, which not only brings them pleasure, but also provides them with excellent additional income. So, what happens with most people? Every year, there's a vacation, and that's a significant expense. The family flies off for a holiday, a good hotel, $5,000, $7,000, sometimes even $10,000 per trip. 10 years pass, and you realize that during this time, you have spent a huge amount of money. So what's left? Photos on the phone and good memories. This is, of course, also very good. But now imagine a different scenario. You relax in the same way, often even much better, but instead of simply spending money, you gradually build up capital that, over time, starts working for you. It's about the same difference as having your own house or apartment that you bought many years ago. And if, for example, you live in a rental, those who bought real estate 15 years ago and those who don't have their own place and have been renting for many years are now in completely different financial situations. It's the same with resort property, a spacious 2-bedroom apartment of about 100 square meters. That's about 1,100 square feet. In one of the luxury developments, let's say in Punta Cana, not a tiny box, but a truly comfortable luxury apartment for a family. The price of such a property today is less than $200,000, and you can get a small 3-bedroom villa starting from $250,000 US. And this is where most people immediately say, well, that's it, this isn't for me. Where would I get that kind of money? No one is saying you have to pay the entire amount at once, let alone take it all out of your own pocket. Usually, the payment scheme in the Dominican Republic is very convenient. At the start, you pay about 20%, another 40% is paid in installments throughout the entire construction period, which lasts about 2 years. And the final part of the payment is made when you receive the keys. And this is where a strategy comes in that I use myself and recommend to my clients. Instead of taking money out of your own pocket, use financing. If you already own property in Canada or the US, most often you can open a line of credit against the equity in your own house or apartment or increase your existing mortgage. In other words, you can use the capital that has already accumulated in your own property. Yes, money comes with interest, but here it's important to understand the math behind this deal. After construction is completed, your property in the Dominican Republic will start generating rental income. Moreover, in the good tourist areas of the Dominican Republic, high-quality properties with professional management show very strong results from short-term rentals. As a rule, this is more than 10% net income per year based on the property value. And year after year, this income only grows since there is inflation and, generally speaking, vacations are getting more expensive. Now imagine this scenario. Suppose for now you come to your apartment 2 or 3 times a year for a week or 2 at a time. The rest of the time, the apartment is rented out through the management of the complex. You don't need to do anything. No looking for tenants, no cleaning, no messaging with guests. All of this works automatically. Your property not only covers the interest on the loan you took out, but also pays off the principal of the loan used to purchase this property very quickly. With today's income from short-term rentals in the Dominican Republic, you can fully pay off your debt from rental income in just 10 years, instead of 40 years as is typical in Canada and the USA. In other words, after about 10 years, the apartment has paid for itself. That is, without taking a single penny out of your pocket, you had a place to periodically go on vacation for those 10 years, and after 10 years, the debt is gone. Now let's add another important factor. The increase in property value. Today, the Dominican Republic is the fastest growing tourist country in the Caribbean region. New airports, infrastructure, growth in tourism, and huge investments. Real estate here is steadily increasing in value. Yes, no one knows the future with absolute certainty, and you should always be conservative in your calculations. But even if we take a very moderate growth scenario, in 10 years an apartment bought today for $200,000 to $250,000 could very well be worth around $350,000 to $400,000, or sometimes even more. But really, it doesn't even matter how much it will be worth in 10 years. The debt is already gone, and whatever it's worth, that's your money. It could be more, it could be less. That's a different question. But you haven't put a single penny of your own money into the apartment. Plus, you've saved a decent amount on vacation trips. And now you have a choice. The first option? You sell the property. Over these years, you vacationed dozens of times with your family in your own apartment, saved a lot of money on hotels, gained a ton of experiences, and in the end, you walk away with a substantial amount of capital. The second option, don't sell anything. You retire and spend several months a year in a warm climate by the ocean, and for the rest of the year, you also receive a good additional income from renting it out. And the third option, you continue living as before. You fly in 2 or 3 times a year for a couple of weeks, and the property becomes an additional source of income. Imagine an addition to your pension of tens of thousands of dollars every year. And all this while you still have an asset that you can sell at any time or pass on to your children or grandchildren in the future. That's why I always say the question isn't whether you can afford such a purchase. Most people can. The only question is whether you want it. Unfortunately, not everyone creates their own life themselves. Many people simply go with the flow. For those who just go with the flow, I recommend asking yourself not whether you can afford such a purchase, but rather, can you afford to miss such an opportunity? If you're interested in analyzing your specific situation, how much financing you can get, which projects are truly profitable today, where rental income is better, and what will work best for your personal scenario, sign up for a consultation. The link to book an online appointment is below this video. The appointment can be either online or at our office in Richmond Hill. See you again on the channel.